Son, you know I serve the living God. Yours is made of bread.
We are here for another Sabbath that the Lord our God has given us. He's our God. Huh? Listen, I'm going to try not to be long-winded as I normally or sometimes am, because there's going to be a lot of reading today. And I want to stress something. Today's class is entitled The Hidden Enemy, okay? And currently in the news, they have you choosing sides. During, October 7th, they had you picking one side. Now, as you see atrocities going on in our land, I'm going to say it again. Maybe you didn't hear me. The atrocities going on in our land, okay, that they now have you choosing another side. But where we stand, Israel united in Christ, we stand on God's side. Every time, every single solitary time. So we're going to go through the scriptures. We're going to go through the scriptures, a little bit of history, of course, some modern, some recent activities and recent news, things of that nature. So let's go. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 32, and bear with me. Isaiah chapter 32. Can somebody hit that fan back there, please? I'm already getting hot. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5.
Shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy.
Okay, so the vile person will speak villainy. That goes into many of these politicians, political leaders, state and world leaders, okay? They will speak many, 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 many hateful things. That's why you can't be surprised and you can't pick sides, okay? Don't be the one that your your profile picture on your social media is a Palestine flag or an Israeli flag. No, none of those doggone flags should matter to any of us, right? Because we stand on the Lord's side. So read that again.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
The vile person will speak villainy, evil, hateful things. Go ahead.
And his heart will work iniquity.
And his what?
And his heart will work iniquity.
His mind is going to always be fixated on iniquity. Whichever side you choose, the nations, their mind is always on iniquity. And as we go on, you'll see some more of that. Keep reading.
To practice hypocrisy.
Wait. Their main focus is to practice hypocrisy. I want that to be a staple in your mind as we go on in the rest of the class. They practice hypocrisy. So some of you may say, how were they hypocrites? The little boys and little girls were jumping and playing jump rope and playing with kittens and puppies, and they were bombed. And okay, let's see if we share that same sentiment as class goes on, right? So read that part again.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
So it says the vile person will speak villainy. Go ahead.
And his heart will work iniquity.
His mind is always focused, directed, and driven by iniquity. Go ahead.
To practice hypocrisy.
And it is to practice hypocrisy. That's the class. I remember Bishop did a class called the red herring. And what they do is they throw a smoke screen in one direction, but there's something totally different going on behind the scenes, right? Continue to read.
And to utter error against the Lord.
So are these people going to speak on the Lord's behalf or for the Lord? Huh? No, read that again.
To utter error against the Lord.
It says to utter error against God. Huh. Go ahead.
To make empty the soul of the hungry. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
So he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Now, is this talking about Hamas? Is this talking about Amalek? Is it talking about us? Who is it talking about? Let's go to Daniel chapter 4. Daniel, the 4th chapter and the 17th verse. So the vile person will speak villainy, speak hypocrisy. Okay, keep reading. Not keep reading, read.
Yes, sir. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17.
Come on.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
So God rules in the kingdom of men. Put that on the screen. Put that on the screen. Okay. IT, doing some IT stuff. Put that on the screen. So all over the world, you'll see this same sentiment, whatever country you're in. You'll see particular leaders all over the world, and they'll have their following and their backing and their constituents behind them, right? So, but what they don't know is it's the Lord that rules among men. Read that part again.
Yes, sir. To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
So God rules in the kingdom of men. Go ahead.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
So I know a lot of times we get caught up. Again, the media will have us caught up in Democrat, Republican, who's this, who's that, who's on first, who's on third. Some of y'all might be too young for that. Who's on third, whatever the case may be. They always have our focus redirected. Okay, that's why there is a hidden enemy, because the enemy has thrown a smoke screen to redirect our attention, right? Because here's the thing, we have the picture of Trump on the screen, right? When he was in office as the United States president, the smoke screen was everything negative under the sun, right? And so-called black people were rallying. Oh, let's get him out of office. They hated him. He's a racist. He's this. Now, do I believe he's a racist? Oh, no, I know he's a racist. Why? Because he is for the advancement of his race. Don't ever think any of these Edomites are for the advancement of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. No, they're for their people. Okay? So, everyone was rallying. Now, they went and voted for Jim Crow Joe. Now, those same Negroes are begging for Trump to come back. Do you see how it works? That's why you can't get caught up in these things. Don't get caught up in these things whatsoever. They can't wait for Jim Crow Joe to do one of two things: to leave office or to drop dead. Every time he tripped going up them stairs, they like, oh, let that be his last trip. Lord, please, Jesus, let that be his last fall. He fell off the bike. They was like, Lord, let it roll down a hill. You know people was praying for that. But the point is, isn't that who they wanted? Listen, it doesn't matter. Put that on the screen. somebody help Joe, please? Can somebody help Joe? Man, Joe has fallen more times than I can count. But here's my point. Look, come on. We should do a whole collage on this thing. Hold on one second. Give me another one. Give me another one. How you fall going up the stairs? I have, you slide down because you rush in or whatever. There's the floor is slippery, you slide down, but multiple times going up? That riding a bike, you know how they have the term shopping while black or driving while black or all of those different monikers and terms? Joe covered them all. Driving while Joe, walking while Joe, biking while Joe. And it's all pictures of him on the damn ground. You spend more time on the ground than you do stand upright. Look at that. Ass all in the air. Come on, man. Have some dignity about yourself. I tell you. Y'all taking me somewhere else. Cut it out. All right. Real quick. Where were we?
We were at the end of verse 17.
Oh, yeah. Read that again. I'm sorry.
Daniel chapter 4, verse 17.
Come on.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
It says that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. Go ahead.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
So whether it's Jim Crow Joe, whether it's Netanyahu, whether it's Putin, whether it's Trump, it's all the Lord's will. Always remember that. That's why you can't choose sides. You got to say, Lord, whatever you deem fit is what I'm going to go with. Okay? And that's what we stand by in teaching the commandments. We just pray for those who's going to give us liberty and peace in this captivity. That's all we can do. We ain't going to choose no daggone political side because all of it is evil. It's a two-headed snake or a two-headed dragon. A seven-headed dragon, rather. Go ahead.
And set it up over it the basis of men.
Now, are these the top tier caliber of men? Huh? What does Kevin Samuel say? High value men? Are these high valued men? Put that on the screen. God says, he setteth up over it, over all of these nations, the basis of men. That's what God says. So I know they wear these, $10,000 suits and drive in these cars, but these are these people, okay? These are them. They're the basis. I know the Saudi prince has hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever. God says all of them are the basis of men. Do we all understand that? Okay, good. Ezekiel chapter 7. So don't let the media talk about how Giorgio Armani designed Barack Obama's suit. God says what? Basis of men, bro. Basis of men. That's what God says. So we got to stand on whose side? We stand on God's side. Read.
On verse 22, Cap?
24.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 24.
Come on.
Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled.
So, because here's the thing. At times, Israel, we get puffed up when the Lord is defending us. We get comfortable with the Lord's defense. So in those times, we transgress against the Lord because we're at a time of ease. So God says what he does is when we get so comfortable, like there's the saying, familiarity breeds contempt. Sometimes we get too familiar with our Father. How many of us know what that is in this worldly, in this fleshly life? There's certain things you can't say to your father. You call your father by your first name. What? Hey, what up, Johnny? What you say now? You know, some of y'all Judah, y'all got that country. What you say now, boy? You can't say certain things, but what we do is we get too familiar with our Father. And in that, we become disrespectful. So the Father says, as judgment, I'm going to send the worst of the heathen against you. These are these same rulers that we're talking about. These same rulers that take away our liberties, that take away our time of fellowship, that hunt us down like savages. These are these same rulers that the media wants us to exalt and to act as though they're something great. No, they're nothing great. They're nothing to be celebrated. These are the basis of men. So read that again.
Verse 24. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease.
So God says that boasting that we do, that confidence that we have, he says, okay, I'm going to cause that to cease. How? By sending the worst of the heathen against us. Go ahead.
And their holy places shall be defiled.
It says, and our holy places shall be devoured. I want you to keep that in mind. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
So now, Proverbs 21:1. Proverbs 21:1. I want to reiterate the point. God rules in the kingdom of men. And let's prove that. Proverbs 21 verse 1.
Proverbs chapter 21 verse 1.
Come on.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
So all of these kings of the earth that God deems, God says that they're the basis of men. What does God say?
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
So who is directing these kings of the earth? Who? Okay. Because you got to think about it. How is it that now the Lord is gathering all these nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat? The Lord is coming. They were going to make a right turn and go to Dubai to hang out. He was like, nah. Swing that warship around and go into the valley of Jehoshaphat. We were going to go to Switzerland and go skiing. No. Take that army with you into the valley of decision. That's what you need to do. I need your focus to be there, because in there, the redemption of the children of Israel shall come to pass. So read that.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Come on.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
So that wasn't made up. The way the Lord wants these men to go, to direct their armies, to direct their finances, to direct the militaries, the Lord is going to deem how it's going to move. Let's prove that even further. Isaiah 45, verse 7.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7.
Come on.
I form the light and create darkness.
Okay.
I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So it's not them, so to speak. The Lord is using them to fulfill his will. That's why we always must remain on God's side. We must remain on God's side. Read it again. I like that thing.
I form the light and create darkness.
Come on.
I make peace and create evil.
Come on.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Lord does all these things. I remember when I was growing up, there was a term, peace in the Middle East. What the hell? Now that we know a little bit better, right? Oh, no. No, bring destruction. Bring destruction. Because guess what? If the Lord, the Lord bringing destruction is going to redeem our people, then guess what? Well, let's have at it. Drop a bomb again. Drop another one, damn it. It is what it is. Okay. Let's go to 3 holy children in the Apocrypha. 3 holy children, verse 9 and verse 10. 3 holy children.
3 holy children, verse 9.
Come on.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
So, the nations that rule over us, what does God say about them?
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
We were delivered into the hands of lawless enemies with an S. Because we can't just attribute it just to the Babylonians, because in the spirit, they're not talking about just the Babylonians. They're not talking about that. All the nations that rule over our people in various parts of the world, what does God call them again?
Lawless enemies.
They are lawless enemies. That's what God says. So we know our people are over there in Israel. God says you're in the midst of your enemies. We know our people are over there in the Arabian countries that were taken in slavery. Guess what? God says you're in the midst of your enemies. All of them has captured and taken us at various times throughout history. God says those are lawless enemies. There is no depth they won't go in order to usurp their authority over our people. And we're going to get to some of that. I'm making these points because I want you to hone in on certain things. Because, you know, we as a people, 10 minutes from now, you're going to forget 90% of what came out. Right? Yeah? Let's be honest. You like, yeah, you right, Cap, you right. Take good notes because it's going to make sense as we bring out some of this glorious history. And shout out to our bishops and deacons. Before this truth, I ain't know nothing about correlating history and the word of God. Not a clue. Not a clue. It was history over here and the Bible was over there somewhere. But all praises to the Most High God for him pouring his spirit on those men. All praises. Hey, so continue to read.
Verse 9.
Come on.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
God delivered us into the hands of lawless enemies. Go ahead.
Most hateful forsakers of God.
What are they?
Most hateful forsakers of God.
They are the most hateful forsakers of God. Go ahead.
And to an unjust king.
And to an unjust king. Go ahead. So remember, who controls the kings? Okay. God says all things go through him. So when, was it 1 Kings 22, when he asked who will be a lion spirit, right, to persuade Ahab, guess what? That spirit goes into those kings as well. It went into kings of Israel. Why won't those evil spirits go into the kings of the earth? Those spirits are being dispatched into those various leaders to do the will of the Lord. Go ahead.
And the most wicked in all the world.
Wait. Here's what I want you to go back to verse 9. Let's see what God calls them. Lawless what? Read that again.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
Now the bottom part.
And the most wicked in all the world.
Damn. All of our enemies are the most wicked in all the world. I want y'all to understand that. These men are wicked. So don't listen. Don't cry. We're going to play some videos. Don't cry for Gaza. Don't cry for Amalek. Don't cry for Ukraine or Russia, Gog, Magog. Don't cry. For what? For what? I guarantee you, name any atrocity that's happened to any nationality on the planet, and it can't hold a candle to our atrocities. Name anything. Pick the worst thing you've ever heard, and I guarantee it's not even close to what we have endured as a people. Not even close. So I know we're gonna play a video in a second. I'm gonna watch the crowd. I'm gonna watch y'all like this. Somebody pass me some binoculars, please, because I need to zoom in on some faces. Go ahead, read.
And now we cannot open our mouths.
So what's the point?
And now we cannot open our mouths.
So I want you to see this. What we were talking about earlier is the hidden enemy, right? So the enemy has done the most atrocious things to us. And now we can't even what?
And now we cannot open our mouths.
We can't even open our mouths to speak on the atrocities that they've done. Because what do? They put a strike on our videos. They take it down, say it's against community rules and guidelines. We're speaking historical facts and we're reading the Bible. The most sold book in human history. The Bible's the #1 seller every single year. Y'all know that, right? So the book that's readily available in damn near everybody's house, atheists, Jews, Christians, you name it, they have a Bible. You're telling me that now on YouTube and these various platforms, we can't read the Bible? You're telling me history books that's all throughout our libraries, we can't read them without getting a strike? Read that line again.
And now we cannot open our mouths.
We can't open our mouths. It shows how filthy and evil these people are. That's what God says. So don't choose a side, because they're both working with the same demonic spirits. Both of them, both sides, all the nations. Making my garment right up. Get me all. All right, read that again.
And now we cannot open our mouth. We are become a shame.
It says we have become a shame. So when you do speak on the atrocities that they've done, they say you're anti-Semitic. They say you're a hate group. They say you're a cult. Am I right or wrong? God is telling us how these nations operate. It's clear as day. God says they're so wicked, they won't even allow you to speak on the atrocities. You know what's funny? Like on most of our jobs, somebody give me an example. What do most black men talk about at the job? Sports, what else? Sports and women. That's it. But look at what goes on with our people. Brothers getting their head decapitated. Some years ago, James Byrd drugged by a truck. And what do? They whisper it one-on-one, but they won't speak it openly like they do about sports. They won't do that because, read it again.
And now we cannot open our mouths.
So they can do as much evil to you as they want, but you better not talk about it. Look at how many celebrities put something on their social media platform and they have to go back and apologize. They backed Colin Kaepernick. They had to go back and apologize. The man didn't even say nothing. Y'all understand? This is who we're dealing with in this captivity. So don't be choosing sides. Don't you dare choose sides. Stand with the Lord always. Read that again.
And now we cannot open our mouths. We are become a shame and reproach to thy servants and to them that worship thee.
So now let's go to Isaiah 32, verse 7. One more time. Back to Isaiah chapter 32.
Isaiah chapter 32, verse 7.
So we remember we read earlier, and read verse 6 again.
Verse 6.
To gain back the thought.
For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity.
Come on.
To practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord.
Right.
To make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
So remember, they're practicing hypocrisy. They're speaking against the Lord, right? Now, verse 7.
The instruments also of the churl are evil.
So now, what are some of the instruments that the churl or the evil speakers of these leaders, what do they use? They put laws into place, right? They have their media to back whatever it is they're saying. I remember during COVID, it's like every news channel had a script. And they were all saying the same exact thing. To do what? To push a collective agenda. And what's the term? Say it often and say it well. Say it often and say it loud or say it well? Well, say it often and say it well. So as things continually are repeated, it's stuck in our psyche now. And we'll start to feel sympathy for those who have hated us since the beginning of time. They said, they were slaughtering babies but when you heard the interviews of those who were hostages over there in Gaza, right? They said, they treated us so well. And the media was like, no, shut the mic off. That's not what we're trying to push to the masses. Cut the mic. Why? Because they have a collective agenda that they want to push to sway the minds of so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because the earth don't move unless you do. You are the salt of the earth. So your viewpoint or your objective, your outlook is what they look to sway. Okay? So it says the instruments of the churl are evil. Read that again.
The instruments also of the churl are evil.
Come on.
He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor.
So what does he do?
Deviseth wicked devices.
So they use the media to have you looking in one direction, right? All the while behind the scenes, they're doing what?
To destroy the poor.
No, go back a little bit.
Yes, sir. He deviseth wicked devices.
It says he devises wicked plans. Puts wicked plans into action to do what?
To destroy the poor.
To destroy us. So now, earlier, we were talking about what side and who had the most atrocities done, right? But here, we're reading about leaders who hate the Lord, forsake the Lord, they practice hypocrisy, but yet they have power of persuasion. Everybody understand that, right? So they practice hypocrisy. They're the basis of men. They're the worst of the heathen, but yet they have a level of influence. So let's play that video on Twitter. Let's go to the video. Let's play that one. Somebody pass me some binoculars. Listen to the music, y'all. Look at the kitten on the chest. All I have is my little kitten. Look, oh my God, I've saved the cat. Listen, pause it, go back a second. Can you go back? Right there. You telling me of all the things you could report on, you got a damn fluffy ass cat on your chest.
Hell no.
You telling me little babies being blown up, head split open. Is it more gruesome and grievous than this? But do you hear the music in the background? Go ahead, play it. I have seen it all. I have seen it all. I can't do this. The media is friggin' bananas.
The hell is this?
They will have you worried about Palestinian cats, but nobody gives a damn about so-called blacks and Hispanics. Nobody. Where was the video at during George Floyd with somebody with some cats? When Eric Garner got choked out in New York, where was the videos of cats with the heartfelt music? Peter didn't give a damn then? What's that, the ASPCA, animals? What is that? What's that thing called? What's the animal thing? No, that's, yeah, Peter. Give me the animal one. It's an acronym. ASP, that's it? Thank you, Sister Shimonia. Only one sister know about the animals. Know about animal rights in here. What the hell is this? So the ASPCA, nobody cared when this was going on, right? Showing the instruments of the churl. The instruments of the churl. But let's do it again. Let's do it again. Go back to Twitter. The other one. Come on. Yes.
My name is Yoni Asher.
Come on, turn it up.
My name is Yoni Asher. My name is Yoni Asher. My entire family was kidnapped on October 7 by the terror organization of Hamas. They were visiting their grandmother, my mother-in-law. We are not residents of the kibbutzes. We live in the center of Israel, so I wasn't with them at that moment. My wife, 2 baby girls, Raz and Aviv, 4 and 2-year-old, were taken by Hamas during these horrific events. My mother-in-law was abducted along with them. While kidnapping them, she got murdered in front of their eyes.
Ooh,
their beloved grandmother.
Pause it. You gotta listen. You gotta listen to the pungent points. He named his baby girls, their ages. They went to visit their grandmother. Nothing pulls on the heartstrings more than children and grandma. Huh? Pull on your heartstrings? Huh? Which one of y'all? Raise your hand. Is it your eye trickling right now? Okay. So he says he's making some points, right? Some points that would have the person like, no, not grandma killed in front of the grandkids. Those are beasts. Those are animals. Continue to play. So remember, what we have is Amalek and Ishmael, right? We have Amalek and Ishmael. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
While kidnapping them, she got murdered in front of their eyes, their beloved grandmother.
Stop. Stop. Stop the cap. Stop. It takes everything in me not to. Now, so I think I'm getting hot in here. But it just boils my blood. It boils my blood that, for instance, here, an Asian woman got hit over the head with a brick. Asian hate law in place. The next week, Negroes been getting their behinds whooped with bricks since we got off those ships. Bars. Oh, man. But my point is, there's no one to institute or implement those kind of protective laws for us, right? So there's no way, when there's no sympathy for our people, we should be able to hold high levels of sympathy for others. Because we honestly don't recognize what that even is. We don't know what that is. We don't know what it is to have the nation sympathetic towards our needs. But so how can we have that mentality to be sympathetic towards their needs? I mean, it only makes sense. Okay. Play the video.
As I speak here now, they are sitting, held captive by Hamas after seeing their grandmother getting killed in front of their eyes. My wife.
You said that already.
My 2 young baby girls. What are they doing right now? How are they spending their time? You know how I found out about it? Hamas released a video on TikTok, and then using this video, watching this video, that is how I discovered they were abducted. I saw my entire family, the worst nightmare of every parent. I was watching my entire family on a Saturday afternoon getting kidnapped. My little baby girls used to kiss me goodnight every night before they went to sleep, to watch television, hug together on the couch.
I'm watching y'all eyes. If I see one of y'all have a tear fall because his baby girls used to watch TV with him at night, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it no more. Stop. So they want us to forget our pain, our plight, and jump on board with theirs. Now, this is how the enemy hides himself, right? But guess what? The Lord poured his spirit on his prophets to reveal who the enemy actually is. So no longer is the enemy hidden. Okay, let's go. It wasn't my plan, but let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Because he made mention of that he saw on TikTok his baby girls taken. Okay, all right. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Come on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So captivity with ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
So we wouldn't see the captivity in physical Egypt again. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
But this new place of bondage, you're going to be sold unto your enemies. Go ahead.
For bondmen.
And that new place of bondage or slavery was going to, the mode of transport was going to be by ships. Okay. Put it on the screen. Your mode of transport was going to be by ships. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And it says, and there, wherever those ships docked, in the four corners of the earth, you were going to be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
You're going to be sold unto your enemies. Go ahead.
For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bondwomen.
And for slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
And no one would have the power to redeem you from the hands of those slave captors, those oppressors, so on and so forth. So many of you are familiar with this. Jump to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So, most of our people don't know this history is in the Bible. They don't know that. They don't know that our sons and daughters being taken and given to another people is biblical. It was a prophecy written by our foreparent Moses, the prophet Moses, of what would befall the children of Israel. And Deuteronomy chapter 28 has been reoccurring. Through many captivities, we've watched our children given to other people. But it said this last one was going to be a slight bit different because it was going to involve what mode of transportation? Very good, very good. Go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Didn't he just say that's what happened to his baby girl? Baby girls? Baby girls? Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
So just like he watched on Twitter, we physically watched our sons and daughters being taken. We were there in the flesh, watching our sons and daughters be taken and given to another people. And keep reading.
And fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
It says, and there shall be no might in our hand. This was a common factor. It was common to the point where we, just like how today, the talk of murder, the talk of drugs, and the talk of debauchery, right, seems normal to us. That's why it doesn't ruffle our feathers when certain things are said, because it gets normalized. Over time, with all of these captivities, this became normal. It's another day on the plantation. Or he raped my wife, it's another day on the plantation. You begin to lose all sense of hope. So we need this in the forefront of our mind. Though they're throwing a smoke screen, they're trying to hide who the enemy is. But guess what? The Lord is revealing who the enemies are. Go ahead.
Verse 33.
No, that was it. That was it. So now, go to the book in the top right-hand corner. Yes. And I think, was it 2 or 3 pages with that? Okay. So, this book is Islam's Black Slaves, the other black diaspora, right? Let's open it up. I want the one with the red highlight. No, open it up. Let me see. The next page, let me see. Right there. Start for time's sake. because we got a lot to get through. For time's sake, let's go down to the bottom highlight. Yep. Wait, hold on. Go to the next page. Let's see something. Next page. That's the one, yeah. Towards the bottom. Oh, read the top highlight.
Eunuchs were employed for various purposes in both the Persian and Byzantine empires, proved more potent than precepts.
So at one point, jump down to the next one. At one point in Islam, they said you couldn't damage a slave, right? You couldn't damage a slave because if you damaged a slave or cut a slave, you had to be cut. But it says over time, the process became more potent than what they believed out of the Quran. Make sense? Okay, read the next highlight.
In 10th century Islamic Spain, Jewish merchants reportedly performed the operation.
Wait, so it says Jewish merchants performed an operation. What operation? Castration. That's what the eunuch portion is talking about. Castration. So read that bottom part again. In the 10th century?
Yes, sir. In the 10th century Islamic Spain.
Okay, so now we're talking about Arabs and Amalek, correct? Okay, go ahead.
Jewish merchants reportedly performed the operation. In the 19th century, Christian monks ran a castration center at their monastery of Deir al-Jandala near Abu Tig, a small town in Upper Egypt.
Okay, hold on. So what we have is Arabs, Amalek, and Edomite Christians performing castrations. Go to the next page with the red. I think it's the red is next. Yes, start at the top.
Such circumventions, however, were not always necessary.
Did I get that corner? Damn. Go ahead. Let me see.
Such circumventions, however, were not always necessary, as ready-made black eunuchs were available.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Read that part again.
Such circumventions, however, were not always necessary, as ready-made black eunuchs were available.
Go ahead.
In Muslim areas where slaves could be bought.
So now, it says black eunuchs were available. Black eunuchs were already available. Why is that? Because prior to this, it mentions some other nations that were made eunuchs as well, but their primary focus was castrating black men. Does everybody understand that? Now, who's involved in this process? Amalek and Ishmael, primarily. So this is why we're going into, don't feel sorry for them. They were cutting off your forefathers' rods left and right. But let's keep reading.
Having traveled in Muslim West Africa during 1353,
Ibn
Battuta wrote of Bornu, a Muslim kingdom. From this country come excellent slave girls.
It says from this country comes excellent slave girls. Go ahead.
Eunuchs and fabrics dyed with saffron. From the 17th century, eunuchs were produced in Bagirma, state southeast of Lake Chad, that was at least nominally Muslim. One 19th century traveler reported that in Morocco, some masters castrated their own slaves to use them as concubines. Moreover, across the centuries, Muslim slave traders sometimes performed the operation themselves.
Okay.
At the place of purchase or along the route to market
centers.
Go
ahead.
The high price of slave eunuchs, up to 7 times that of uncastrated males.
So now, castrating our forefathers became big business. Does everybody understand that? Because it says, read the high price again.
The high price of slave eunuchs.
It says the high price of slave eunuchs.
Up to 7 times that of uncastrated male slaves.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So what they're telling us is When you cut off a slave's rod, they were worth far more than one who still had all of their roddage. That's some evil, evil, evil stuff. And who's there cutting off our stuff? Amalek. Amalek is cutting it off. Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, yes, Bishop, yes. So the castrated slaves were used for sexual pleasuring of their male masters. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Bishop. Thank you. Yes. Yes. It tells you later on in the book. Yes. They were used for sexual pleasures. And it says that it brought shame upon the young boy who they did it to. I think I might have it in here. Let's keep reading. I think I have it in here.
The high price of slave eunuchs, up to 7 times that of uncastrated male slaves in the 19th century, reflected both their relative scarcity as a result of the high death rate which the operation involved.
So it says this operation had a high death rate. A high death rate. So a lot of them were dropping dead, but they said, you know what? The amount of money we can get for this is worth the risk to these black behinds. So they didn't give a damn about us. Here's the thing. Their thought process was this operation is either going to kill them or make them a ton of money. Isn't that their thought process now? With the music, the drugs, the benign neglect in the ghettos. They said, listen, we need to cut the budget. We're going to cut back on police presence. We're going to flood let them kill each other. Because if they don't got a good jump shot, we're not going to make money off them anyway. If they don't got good rap lyrics, they might as well be terminated anyway. This is still their mindset to this very day. Go ahead.
And all but insatiable demand for them.
It says, but though it had a high yield of possible death, there was an unsatiable demand for these slaves, for these castrated slaves. Keep that in mind. Next page. Yes. Go to the next page because it continues. Wait, what did we just read? 41? Hold on one second. You can start at the top right there. That's fine.
It was assumed that a handsome adolescent, beardless youth, or even a younger boy was naturally attractive to any full-grown man.
So wait. So thank you, Bishop. So we did have it in there. So it says it's assumed that a handsome adolescent, beardless youth, or even younger boy was naturally attractive to any full-grown man. So what were these grown men doing with these boys? They were making them eunuchs and raping them. This is what they're trying to smoke screen. They don't want us to remember this type of history, these type of atrocities, because these type of atrocities all line up with the scriptures. Daniel chapter 9. No one has experienced what we've experienced. We're going to get to that. Keep reading.
And that the man would have sexual relations with him.
He would have what?
Sexual relations with him.
So when it says they were part of the concubine, they weren't guarding the concubine. They were getting pound town like the concubines. Everybody understand that? Go ahead.
That the man would have sexual relations with him if the occasion arose. For instance, if the youth were his slave, alongside sex relations with his women.
Go ahead, jump down.
Yet Hodgson adds, the Muslim stereotype of sexual relations answered the idea of the sex act as an act of domination.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. Isn't that what Esau did in this captivity in the Americas in the 1600s? In order to humble a buck, this same act was used to show dominance. We can't pick sides. We can no longer say the enemy is hidden. The enemy is right here in front of us. The enemy is right here in front of us. Who does that? And you know what's so funny? You know why it's foreign to most of our people, whether in the truth or out the truth. You tell us to most people, they'll be like, what? This is crazy, right? Because irregardless, there is some moral compass in us to serve the Lord. Everybody understand that? There is some desire, and there's even before when we have the truth, it connects all the pieces of the puzzle. But we had the scattering thoughts like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, hell no, right? Because there's the Lord is sending us these messages and these signals in order for us to wake up. He wants us to come into the truth, to connect all the pieces of the puzzle. Because if not, we just have scatterbrain. But to us, this stuff is foreign. Taking little boys and castrating them and then having sex with them. What kind of sick, sadistic, twisted stuff is that? That's your friendly neighborhood white man and your friendly neighborhood Arab. Yes. Go ahead.
The adult male.
Hey, when y'all go into them gas stations, you better hide your kids. They might pull them down in the basement or something. Go ahead.
The adult male, as the lover, enjoyed a youth, probably anally.
Wait. Do you hear this stuff? It says they enjoyed a youth anally. Go ahead.
Who was, in principle, passive. And while the relation was...
So, wait. Where are you reading? Where is it? Put the cursor there. Okay, so it says, who was, in principle, passive. So right above, it says the sex act as an act of domination. So you ever seen most of these brothers in Islam? You ever seen them? Yeah, brother, please be bean pop, brother, peace, brother. Yo, bruh. That is something taught generationally to be passive. Because the foreparents that were in that, guess what they were getting? They were getting dominated. They were getting raped. So it taught that young boy to naturally be passive. He taught that passive spirit to his son, so on and so forth, whether they were raped or not. That same passive spirit is taught down the line. That's like today, you're same thing with your Christian pastors. Why the hell are they so soft-spoken? What's going on? It's because the same thing happened to us in this captivity. Make sense? Go ahead.
Who was, in principle, passive. And while the relation was only improper and most licentious for the lover, it was very dishonorable for the youth who was enjoyed.
So wait, so the reason why he was passive is because it was one of those things that could not be revealed. So he would never want to do anything to upset his master. He would never want to do anything to bring attention to himself. It breaks the spirit. That's what they want to do. They want to break our spirit. So now what they do is they use their media to socially castrate us. Everybody understand that? You can't say certain things. Oh, they cancel my account again. Now what is that teaching you? You better not talk like that if you open up another account. Everybody understand that? You better not say that again. They take your what's that? Your IP address. Now you can't open an account. Esau says, I'm still gonna castrate you. I'm still gonna make a public spectacle of you. Because this is Esau and Ishmael. In another clip, we're gonna show that Amalek blended in with Ishmael. They mingled. But go ahead.
Who thus allowed himself to be cast in a woman's role.
So he says he allowed himself to be cast into a woman's. Yo, go ahead. Keep reading.
In this context, whatever the sexual inclinations of the male slave might have been, he had no choice in the matter.
He had what?
No choice in the matter.
He had no say. Go ahead.
And for those male slaves who were used against their will, in a culture so preoccupied with masculine honor, a special sense of shame might well have been involved.
Next page. Got to speed it up.
Yes, sir.
No, I got to speed it up, not you. Yeah, read that.
As early as the late 17th century. Black slaves known as the Zanj, associated with people from the East African coast, were put to agricultural work in a region that encompassed part of the Western Persia.
So now, black slaves known as Zanj, right? Go ahead, next page.
The defeat of a large force sent by the Caliph to crush the rebellion so alarmed the rich of Basra that many of them took flight. More Zanj victories followed in 870 to 71. The Caliphate armies contained Zanj soldiers.
So there were Zanj soldiers in this army. Go ahead.
Who increasingly deserted.
So what they did was they were leaving that fight. Go ahead.
Reinforcing the rebellion with their training and weapons.
So they joined the rebellion using the weapons that they got from the army. Go ahead.
In the autumn of 871, Zanj forces captured and pillaged Basra itself. Much of the city was consumed by fire. 300,000 inhabitants lost their lives.
Go ahead.
The rebels were not so dazzled by the importance of their latest prize that they abandoned their base or their mobile strategy.
Go ahead, go down.
One such stronghold where Abin Muhammad had his headquarters, became the fortified town of Mokhtar and the capital of what was effectively an independent Zanj state. From this command center, Zanj forces raided army camps, towns, trade caravans, and commercial shipping. In 878 through 79, the Zanj captured Wasit.
Jump down.
Wasit. And he abandoned the established policy of killing or torturing any captured Zanj rebel.
So what were they doing? Because our people wanted freedom from their Islamic leaders or rulers over them, they were getting captured and tortured. So what he did was he said, you know what? I'll stop imprisoning y'all and stop killing and torturing y'all. Go ahead.
With the hope of encouraging deserters from a cause whose popular support was not reportedly shrinking.
Okay. Did I give you the next page too?
You read that one, Kat?
Okay, I didn't send the next page. Okay, let's go out of it. Let's go to New World Jewelry. Real quick. Yeah, let's go there.
New World Jewelry, 1493 through 1825.
Come on.
Requiem for the Forgotten by Seymour B. Liedman.
Read that.
The Dutch Jews centered their lives about their synagogue. They did not immigrate in appreciable numbers after accumulating wealth. Jews, as well as Christians in the English islands, left for London after amassing their fortunes. Wilford S. Samuel wrote
Jump
that.
down.
Yes,
Jump
sir.
down. Just, they became
more English than Jewish.
So now, here's what I want you to see. After they acquired their wealth, they what?
They became more English than Jewish and assumed more secular than religious and Jewish communal posts.
So here's what I want you to see. How are one of the ways that the enemy is hidden? They change their identity. So what they do is they mingle among nations and then they change their belief system. It says that they change to secular from their religious belief system. So they started acting as atheists, believers in science, what is that? Church of Latter-day Saints, all of that garbage, or Christians, in order to fit in. But Amalek, we see you. Aha. Aha. We see you. Next page. Come on, come on. Jump down. Jump down to the orange.
Jews were also among the leading slaveholders and slave traders.
Wait a minute. Amalek were among the largest slaveholders and slave traders. Jump down.
Wisnitzer writes that Jews were not dominant as senhores de engenho, but played an important role as financiers.
Wait. What were they?
but played an important role as financiers.
Go ahead.
Brokers and exporters of sugar and suppliers of slaves.
And what?
And exporters of sugar and suppliers of slaves.
So now, why can't we pick a side? Because Amalek and Ishmael was castrating us, hunting us down, torturing us, right? Amalek was enslaving and financing and trading slaves. Go to the next page.
You want the yellow cap?
Was there some at the top? Was that the only highlight? Jump down to that middle part, the ships.
The ships were not only owned by Jews, but were manned by Jewish crews and sailed under the command of Jewish captains.
So put up a picture like you had earlier. Put up a picture you had earlier of the slave ships with the captors on it. Because again, and then I want Deuteronomy chapter 28 again. Y'all gotta cement this in your mind. Cement it in your mind. Put the picture up. Nope. They had the captive. I think the captor. I think he was whipping. Okay. So put that picture up. Okay. Next picture. Come on. There you look at that one. So look at those bodies both underneath and on top, right? Look at the top left, the sister's jumping through the net. She's like, I'd rather drown than go with y'all, right? Go back to that part of the book. The ships?
The ships were not only owned by Jews, but were manned by Jewish crews and sailed under the command of Jewish captains.
It says, and sailed under the command of Jewish captains and had Jewish crews. But we know they are Amalek according to the Bible. They ain't Jewish at all. But read.
Many of the ships were engaged in bringing slaves from Africa to the 13th colony, the British islands in the Caribbean, and the Spanish colonies. Although centering in
Curacao,
the Jews spread through most of the West Indian islands, French, English, and Spanish, as well as Dutch.
Next page. That was it. Okay. So now, here's something that always go to Deuteronomy chapter 25. Start at verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 17.
Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee.
So now, here's what the Lord said. The Lord wants us to constantly remember what Amalek did, both of old, right? And in this day, he's stirring up our minds in order to remember what they did in more recent times and doing right now. Go ahead.
Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee.
It says, and smote the hindmost of thee. So all of the elderly, the women and children, that's who they were smoting. That's who they were killing. But it's no different than what all the nations do all the time. But God said there's a special place of remembrance for Amalek. Don't forget that. Was that it?
Even all that were feeble behind thee.
It says all that were feeble. All that were feeble. Amalek said, yeah, guess what? I'm going to do this and nobody's going to see me. Nobody's going to see me. Right? Let's go to two places I want to go. Let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms 83 first. Psalms chapter 83. Start at verse 1.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
So Lord, please don't keep your silence when these nations do all the evil that they do. Because here's the thing I want y'all to understand too. Who else has been speaking up against all of Amalek's atrocities for years? Nobody. The only people they can't seem to silence is the Israelites. They've silenced celebrities, they've silenced athletes, they've silenced public officials. They silence them because of the amount of money that they have backing them. No. That's the thing. You can't silence us with your money. We don't want your money. They have power behind them. But keep reading.
For, lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
There goes that word again. Enemies with an S. It says, thine enemies make a tumult. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Now, remember, we read this earlier in Isaiah chapter 32. But it called them churl and called them liberal, right? But they hate the Lord and speak hypocrisy. So these same enemies there is the same enemies here, is the same daggone enemies today. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel.
What have they done?
Taken crafty counsel.
So you know what's funny? For some reason, they're at odds now. But just a few years back, they were getting together to kidnap us and castrate us. Isn't that funny? Don't you find that suspicious? That's funny.
You don't find that suspicious?
A few years ago, y'all were getting together.
Suspicious?
They wanted to make sure y'all found that suspicious. It was a few years ago, they got together in order to punish and persecute us. But now they're at odds and then they want you to pick a side. That's what I'm telling you. Don't pick a side. Don't pick a side. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Come on.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
It says, has consulted against thy hidden ones. Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So what is their objective? To do what? To cut us off. So don't be amazed by their little squabbles among each other. The only they have disagreements on oil, natural gas, gold, military, nuclear weapons. They have disagreements on everything. But the one thing they all agree on, read that line again.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So they ain't really mad like you think they mad. Because they know they still have a job to do by causing the world to forget who the real Jews are. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel.
That the what?
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel. Put that on the screen, man. That the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
Now, it's not talking about the name according to the Bible or the piece of land. It's talking about that the people, the real people of Israel, the real children of Israel won't be remembered anymore. That's why everyone is so, when you ask, I'll use the term now, but who are the Jews? Everybody's mindset goes to Amalek. They spend a lot of money to reinforce that vision that they're trying to establish. There's a lot of money behind it. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
With what?
With one consent.
So they're not disagreeing. It says they have one consent. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee.
It says they are confederate against thee. Against who? Against you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the biblical Israelites. They are confederate against you. They collectively have said, yeah, we're going to argue over this oil. Yeah, we're going to argue over this natural gas. Yeah, we're going to argue over shipping and export. We're going to argue over that. But guess what? We all got to huddle in. Put a picture up of a huddle. This is what they do. So they sit there like that to make agreement. Put that on the screen. And then I want a picture of a huddle. They sit like this, and they have disagreements about various things, and even make threats of war or carry out war, right? But it ain't really war when you have agreements on how you can conduct war. You ain't really mad. If you're really mad, you obliterating everything. The Geneva Convention gives restrictions on what you can and can't do. If we at war, everybody getting it. That's what the Lord said. Smote man, woman, child. Leave nothing alive. Everybody getting it. So they ain't really mad. Y'all understand? So then a huddle, I said a huddle. Not sitting around a table, a huddle. So they have these discussions. What the hell? You huddle in, you get everybody's arm around each other's shoulder. What the hell? Y'all been doing all right. Oh, God. Bishop, I feel your pain right now, Bishop. Oh, God. You know what? There it is. There's one right there. Oh, no, the one on the bottom left. The left, right there. Do that. Okay, thank you. Woo. They had the rainbow-colored cartoons. So they all sit around and have disagreements, but then when it comes to the confederacy against the children of Israel, this is where they are. They huddle together in secret and come up with plots on how to persecute, how to keep us cut off from our true heritage, right? This is where they are with that. So behind closed doors, they're really doing this. Everybody understand that? Okay. Continue to read.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek.
And who?
Amalek.
And Amalek. Ishmael and Amalek. So yeah, they mad about certain things. They trying to squabble out over land disputes. Okay, I see you. But what you ain't disputing over is the real inhabitants of that land. You like, no, we got to keep they black behinds out. Okay, go ahead.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. Who said, let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Wait a minute. What are they saying? They're saying not only are we going to cut them off from being a people, but we have to take their lands as well. To do what? To establish the vision. In order for people to believe that they are the descendants or the people of God, there's a few things that they have to do. Real quick, just came to me, Sirach 12 and 12. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 12. Here's something that they have to do.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 12.
Go ahead.
Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
So now, when you read the scriptures, the Lord has told us many times not to have peace with these nations. Why is that? When you make peace with them, join affinity to them, guess what? They'll be ready to take your place. Yeah, everybody understand that, right? So what they do is they take your place by acting as though they're you. That's what they do. Read it again.
Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
When he has overthrown you, he stands in your place. Go ahead.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
It says, don't let him sit at your right hand either, because what happened is over time we would let Edomites into our military and into our I would say, or government or our top secret affairs. And what did they do? They replaced us, right? Read it again from the top.
Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
It says, and he'll stand up in our place. Go ahead.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
It says, neither let him sit at our right hand. Go ahead.
Lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words.
It says, at the last, you're going to remember his words. Okay. So real quick, I sent a couple links, right? Okay. You have the link from, no, I'm sorry. Go to Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean, the book. Yes. There were pirates of the Caribbean, and guess what? They were Amalek. Yes. So when you see Johnny Depp running in the movie, yes, it's actually Amalek. So read that again. Read that.
Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean. How a generation of swashbuckling Jews carved out an empire in the New World.
It says they carved out an empire in the New World.
In their quest for treasure, religious freedom, and revenge.
And what?
Religious freedom and revenge.
And revenge. Now go to the inside cover. No. Oh, there it is. You just passed it. That's the inside cover. So read that paragraph where the asterisk is at the top right.
Yes, sir. In the midst of the age of discovery, the Inquisition took hold in Spain and Portugal, forcing many underground Jews to flee the peninsula. The most daring went to the New World as explorers.
So your explorers, those that came to the New World under the guise of explorers, they were who? Who? They were Amalek. They ain't the Jews. They're Amalek. Go ahead.
The most daring went to the New World as explorers. Conquistadors.
As who?
Conquistadors.
Now, this is very important. As conquistadors. Go ahead.
And pioneering merchants. Others became free-willing outlaws, practicing piracy on the high seas.
And other became outlaws practicing piracy on the high seas. Go down now to the next one, just for time's sake.
Sir.
Yes.
Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean delves into the lives of these and other Jews who chose the freedom of the seas and New World adventure over the persecution of the Old World. It is about how they helped build the Spanish Empire.
They helped to build the Spanish Empire. So what type of Jews are these? It's Amalek. It's Amalek. They built the Spanish Empire because above, what did they say they were? Conquistadors. Everybody got that, right? They were conquistadors. So they came and built the Spanish Empire. Now let's go into the book. Read that.
At the dawn of the age of discovery, when Spain's monarchs banished the Jews to purify their nation, followers of the law of Moses sailed with the explorers and marched with the conquistadors.
And did what?
Marched with the conquistadors.
Go ahead.
With the discovery and settlement of the New World. They took solace in the hope of finding a safe haven.
So their hope was to find a safe haven. Go ahead.
Or at least putting distance between themselves and the Inquisition. Unlike other pioneers, they had no home to return to.
It says they had no home to return to. Go ahead.
And as seen in the preceding chapter, they were among the first foreigners to permanently settle.
Wait. I want you to read that part slow.
Yes, sir. They were among the first foreigners to permanently settle the New World.
Okay. Wait a minute. So those first early settlers, or they deemed founding fathers, what are they? Wait a minute. Those founding fathers, they're Amalek. But remember earlier we read, what do they do when they go to these new worlds? They change what? They change everything, their names, who their lineage is, where they come from. They come here and lie. The enemy has been hidden for a while, but we see you, Amalek. We see you. Read that again.
They were among the first foreigners to permanently settle the New World.
Okay.
Going about as bona fide Christians.
Whoa. What were they acting like?
Bona fide Christians.
I tell you, they some lying ass people, boy. I tell you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to send something while I'm talking. Go ahead, read it again.
Yes, sir. They were among the first foreigners to permanently settle the New World, going about as bona fide Christians.
As bona fide Christians. That's your super duper Christians now. Y'all know that, right? So guess what? Some of these bona fide Edomite Christians now, no, their lineage is really Amalek. That's why you see them, they be humping and stomping and hollering and acting like they doing something. You ain't doing a damn thing. Why? Because the spirit wasn't with your daddy and it damn sure ain't with you. Go ahead.
Most carried their secret to the grave.
What did they do?
Carried their secret to the grave.
Go ahead.
The adventures of some who did not paint an extraordinary tableau of their time. These include a turban-wearing pilot who sailed with 3 of the early explorers, the first capitalists to own and market New World flora, a suspect Jew who discovered California, a conquistador who was the...
I have another page there. Nah, that ain't it. That was it. No, I didn't. Okay, we're gonna move on. So guess what? Those conquistadors, because I don't have to, I don't got a steady hand. I can't take the picture and send it now. But the conquistadors, right? The conquistadors, you would think, okay, these were Spain. And I know Bishop has brought it out many a time, especially on Shout Out Tuesday, about these conquistadors. And there are many references that say the same thing. These so-called founding fathers, they had an objective, right? So real quick, go back out before you read that, because I think there's 2 that I sent on Columbus, right? Let me see. You know what? Yes. Let's go there.
In the Britannica, principal. Yes,
hold on, let me see something. Hold on. Let me go to my notes. Okay, yeah. Read that.
Britannica.
Go down to the part where it says Columbus was deeply religious. Go down. Right where you see it says calculations in dark black. Keep going down like the subcategory. Calculations. Right there. So go back up. Go back up right above it. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, go up a little bit. Right there. Let me see. Where is it? Yes. So it's a striking manifestation right there in the middle. You know what? No. Go up a little bit. Where at the very top it says he had probably.
Yes, sir.
Right there. No, right there. He had probably.
He had probably already read.
So this is Britannica's, the history of Columbus's voyages, right? Go ahead.
He had probably already read.
Wait, I think about Britannica. How many of y'all had them encyclopedias back in your house back in the day? Them big ass encyclopedias your mama paid $1,000 for and you had to make payments because it was too expensive. Everybody had them? Okay, yeah. Those people. Go ahead.
He had probably already read and annotated at least the first 3 name texts before he set out on his first voyage to the Indies. Columbus was a deeply religious and reflective man as well as distinguished seaman, and being largely self-taught, he had a reverence for learning. Perhaps,
so he was deeply religious and he had a reverence for learning. Go ahead.
He had a reverence for learning, perhaps especially the learning of his most influential Spanish supporters. A striking manifestation of his sensibilities is the Book of Prophecies, a collection of pronouncements largely taken from the Bible and seeming to bear directly on his role in the Western voyages.
So now, where are you at? Western voyages. Okay, so you see it says of his sensibilities is the Book of Prophecy. So what did Columbus use? He used the Bible. He used the Bible in order to come to the New World. Remember, it says that the early settlers were what? They were Amalek. They were Jewish, right? Okay. So let's go down a little bit. Go down. It should be coming up. Okay, right there. It says he seems to have argued, right there.
He seems to have argued that his archipelago might be near the Azores. Columbus also read the seer Salathea Ezra in the books of Esdras from the Apocrypha.
So specifically, and we Bishop pulled it out in the book 1492. I mean, the movie 1492, and it's also documented historically. Columbus used the books of Esdras and the Bible in order to come to the New World to conquer. Make sense? Now, go to the next one, the next link. The heritage history, yes.
Columbus and the Jews, Meyer K. Serling. V. Santagos and the Inquisition. Columbus and Santa Fe, the fall of Grenada, the position of the Santangos, their persecution by the Inquisition. Louis de...
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Before you read this, I know I sent you, and go back to the Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean. Go back to the book. Page 16 was sent to you. Go back to the book. It was 3 pages. Oh, no, damn, it was 2. All right, I'm sending it right now. All right. Put that up. Hopefully that was good enough. Let's see if we get it. Damn. One more time. You got it? Okay, good. I think I can help you.
Yes, sir. To the Jews of the royal court who supported Columbus. The expulsion order made it essential that Columbus hold our
hereditary
rule. If no Asian kingdom welcomed Jewish refugees.
So no Asian kingdom welcomed Jewish refugees. Go ahead.
Columbus, as the ruler of a new land, would be able to provide a haven for Spanish Jews.
So he said he wanted to provide a haven for Spanish Jews. Why?
It is thought that Columbus himself was a descendant of Spanish Jews.
Wait a minute. So Columbus himself was what? He was Amalek. And what are we doing? Showing you a timeline of how long the enemy has been the enemy, right? The timeline is they celebrate this man, and we've gone over it for many years teaching on the street that we can't be celebrating this man, but what we don't know is he is the son of perdition himself. Yes, he is. That's why the atrocities that we're going to go through is not far-fetched from the things that we've read so far that Amalek and Ishmael have done. Make sense? Okay, so now go to that. Go to, it says in all cities of Spain. How far down is it? I think it starts with that. Right there. Yep.
In all the cities of Spain, the fall of the Moorish dominion and the triumph of the Christian religion were celebrated with songs of rejoicing. The Jews went about in sorrow and with bowed heads, for the conquest of the Muslim also decided their fate.
So the conquest of the Muslims decided their fate because during this time, many of our brothers had converted to Islam by force. Everybody understand that? By force. Go ahead.
In spite of the important part which they had played in securing the victory.
For time's sake, jump down. The priest cardinal.
The priest was Cardinal Ximenez de los
Jimenez.
Cardinal Jimenez.
You got to hit the he.
The X is an H. Yes, sir. Cardinal Jimenez de los Cineros.
Yo, Captain Zeph, sign me up for the Northern Kingdom crew. Go ahead.
The very learned Grand Inquisitor.
He was the Grand Inquisitor. Do what?
Who wished to turn all Moors and Jews into Christians. Who persecuted the Moranos with the utmost rigor.
He punished them with the utmost rigor. Now, this is very important because remember, it talks about the founding fathers that came to the New World. They were what? They were Amalek. It just one of those leaders in the 1400s was Columbus, right? He came to this side of the world to establish Spain, and he was what? He was Amalek. So now, let's go to Black Indians. What do they do? Because we just read that Amalek desired our position because we set him beside us. He takes our place, right? They desire to take our land, take our houses, and take our kingdom from us, right? Nope, Black Indians. Wait a minute. I think I just sent you the page. Yeah, I think it's page 26. Damn, I didn't send I sent the cover. Nope, that's not it. No, I ain't going crazy now. Didn't send the page. All right, there it is. You got it now. Black Indians. So Columbus came to this side to establish Spain. Show the cover. Right? Okay, go inside, page 26. Let's read that.
On this first day, October 12th, 1492, the explorer wrote in his diary, I took some of the natives by force.
Where are you reading?
The top with a line.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so read it from the top line.
For the people of the Americas, the arrival of Columbus was hardly a blessing.
Come on.
On his first day, October 12th, 1492, the explorer wrote in his diary, I took some of the natives by force.
He did what?
I took some of the natives by force. He later found the original inhabitants to be tractable, peaceable.
He found them to be what?
Tractable, peaceable.
And in first Ezra chapter 13, it says, and I found another peaceable multitude. Columbus is saying, actually, let's get that. Some of y'all looking at me like I got two heads. First Ezra or second Ezra? Second Ezra.
13.
Second Ezra 13 and verse 39. Thank you. Yep, that's it.
Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. Those are the 10 tribes.
Who are they?
10 tribes.
Who are they?
10 tribes.
That's what God says. God says that peaceable multitude that Columbus came across, when he used he used this, what we're reading, to understand in 2nd Ezra 6 that there's more land. There's 6 parts. There's more land than there is water. Came to this side. He knew the 12 tribes were in Osiris. He understood that. And he said, when I met them, they were as peaceable as Ezra wrote about them. That's why you got to watch these. When it comes to these nations, Amalek, Ishmael, all of them, they speak smooth words, but it's war in their hearts, because the war is to take away our place and to take away our God. And that's not going to happen, because guess what? The enemy ain't hidden no more. The enemy's not hidden anymore. So there's no way we should be falling for the same things we once fell for. Don't fall for the okie doke. Go ahead.
He later found the original inhabitants to be tractable, peaceable, and concluded there is not in the world a better nation.
What did Columbus' own writings say? Read it again.
There is not in the world a better nation.
Wait a minute. Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. Because that sounds familiar to me. There's not a near better nation than these people that I just found. This peaceable multitude that Ezra spoke about. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above all people.
Wait, above what?
All people.
Above all people, above everybody. Go ahead.
That are upon the face of the earth.
Listen, and this is why the nation's so mad. Listen, if I was a heathen, I might be mad too. Y'all got a God on your side. Y'all got a kingdom set up for y'all. Y'all got all the blessings, huh? Blessings on top of blessings. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put y'all in captivity. That's what haters do, right? That's what haters do. Haters see that you have favor on your side, and they say, nah, we got to stop that. Put up that dude from Belly, please, with the banana. Put up the ultimate hater, not nasty, buck nasty, but the banana dude. Okay? This is how the nations look at us right here. Don't put up the video, just put up the picture. Get a picture of them. There you go. Put it up. That's how the nations look at us. I don't like that shit. I don't like that. You got a God on your side. He ready to fight for you. As long as there be no iniquity in you, I don't like that shit. Nope. Let's go back to the book. Some of y'all might be too young for belly. Go ahead.
His response as a European was to say that Indians must be made to work.
So right after he deems they are, there's not in the world a better nation. Right after he deems that they're peaceable, he said, guess what? But y'all going into captivity. Y'all understand that, right? This is the evil of Amalek since the beginning of time. We read it in Deuteronomy chapter 25. We came out of Egypt. Amalek was on us and smote the hind of us, the feeble of us. Here we are again, peaceable, trying to keep the Lord's commandments, and here comes Amalek again. This is why the Lord has to war with Amalek in every generation. Because when you look deep within it, whatever it is, you'll find him there first. Keep reading.
His response as a European was to say that Indians must be made to work and adopt our ways.
And do what?
Adopt our ways.
And do what?
Adopt our ways.
So you telling me Amalek's view, remember, he was the founding fathers here too. He was the founding fathers here too. You telling me his viewpoint in this land was different than Columbus in Hispaniola? No. They have the same outlook, the same purpose, and Satan is their God. Go ahead.
The Christopher Columbus, whose unique seamanship and courage had opened the Americas to European penetration, also began the transatlantic slave trade.
What did he begin?
The transatlantic slave trade.
Christopher Columbus began the transatlantic slave trade. Everybody understand that? Go ahead.
He started by shipping 10-chain Arawak men and women to Seville, Spain.
Go ahead.
He wrote enthusiastically to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
Go down. Read that next part.
We can send all the slaves that can be sold. When he loaded 1,100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships, the crowding and the stormy Atlantic crossing took a fearful toll. Only 300 survived, but Columbus and Spain had decided to continue the profitable slave trade from the Americas.
What did they continue to do?
Continue the profitable slave trade from the Americas.
Who remembers? They said, remember when Amalek was castrating us along with Ishmael, they said the castration took a lot of our lives. But what was the benefit in continuing to do it? Who remembers? Call it out. They made a lot of money off of it. So right here, we're reading the same exact thing. Though the slave trade took a lot of lives, they said the money was way too good. They had to keep it going. Everybody understand that? Showing what? Their mindset doesn't change. It's just we keep falling for it because they repackage it. I don't give a damn how they package it. I ain't buying what you selling. Read.
Seville became the slave capital of Spain.
It did what?
Became the slave capital of Spain.
Just like Mecca became the slave capital in the Arabian world as well. Everybody understand that? They all operate the same exact way. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, you got it. Las Casas. Read that.
Las Casas, who had witnessed countless Indian massacres by his fellow Spaniards, blamed greed for the horrors. They killed them Indians because they want to be rich and have much gold.
No, where are you reading?
Las Casas.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
He concluded.
Las Casas concluded that in the New World, Spaniards had become devils.
Wait, whoa. It says they are what?
Spaniards had become devils.
Now, when it says Spaniards, who is he talking about? About who? Okay. So now they get mad when we use the word of God and call Amalek devils. But Las Casas, Bartholomew de Las Casas, who was there, said they're what? So now we got to let God's word speak, right? Revelation 2:9. I don't know. I mean, they get mad at us. Don't get mad. Be mad at your mama. Be mad at your mama. She laid with your funky daddy and made you. Be mad at your mama. Go ahead. Read that.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Come on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
And are not. But are what?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
The daggone devil. Just like Bartholomew de la Casa said, the Spaniards or conquistadors or Amalek are the devil.
That's right.
I mean, I don't know how much plain I gotta get. The enemy, listen, I know you've been hiding for a minute. I understand. Listen, Jonathan Greenblatt, I get it. You've been hiding for a minute. They try to have this posture as though they're harmless and they're afraid and they feel like, you know, they have no power. But no. Give me Ecclesiastes 4:1. Let's get back to it. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1. Yeah, there he goes. The devil himself.
Ecclesiastes.
Devil. Don't worry, Ishmael, I ain't forget about you either. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1.
Come on.
So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors, there was power.
That's the point I want. There was no comforter because we didn't have the Holy Spirit with us, right? But the point is, it says, on the side of their oppressor, there was power. When you those same Amalekites that we've been reading about, did we have any power to fight against them when Columbus and the conquistadors came? No. When those new settlers came and enslaved us and killed natives, did we have any power then? No. When we were enslaved in the interiors of Africa, brought up into the Arabian countries on enslaved caravans, castrated, our sons and men being raped and part of concubines used as sex toys, did we have any power? God says on the side of the oppressor, there's power. This is why we read Deuteronomy 28 and 32 earlier. It says we had no might in our hands. So it's showing you the contrast between the two. One of them is going to have power in order to afflict punishment on people, steal lands, take houses, take temples. They have that power on their side. But on the side of the children of Israel, they won't have that same power. Everybody understand that? So when you look at all of these common denominators, it's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are on the powerless side. Everybody understand that? But we sure enough have a God. We have a God that is full of power. And he's going to show his power soon. All praises to the Lord for that. So real quick, where were we? Ecclesiastes 4:1 again?
Yes, sir. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1.
Come on.
So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors, there was power.
On the side of their oppressor, there was power. There was power. So here's what I want you to see real quick. Go to Nehemiah 4 and 7. Like I said, Ishmael, I ain't forget about y'all at all. Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7.
Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7.
Come on.
But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians.
Wait. Oh, can't go past that?
Yes, sir.
Can't go past that. Everybody, I want you to understand, Arabs are in the Bible. Okay? Whether you knew before or not, with all confidence, know the Arabians are in the Bible. Go ahead.
And the Ammonites and the Ashdodites
Come on.
heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped. Then they were very wroth.
They were what?
Very wroth.
Go ahead.
and conspired all of them together.
What did they do?
Conspired all of them together.
So all of these nations conspired with the Arabians at the head of it, right? Leading the way. They conspired against us. Go ahead.
To come and to fight against Jerusalem.
So didn't we read this in Psalms 83 earlier? They have a confederacy. They have a confederacy. The confederacy does not stop. It didn't stop. It's not going to stop until Christ come and put an end to this thing. That's what we got to understand. So they use the media to manipulate us and make us feel certain things and all that. Don't feel a daggone thing for them. Don't feel a nothing for them. We need to learn to look on the suffering of our own people, have compassion on our own people, be helpful to our own people, and give the word of God to our own people.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And
put that back on the screen that you just had. Put that on the screen. Look at it. They're probably gonna flag us for it, but it is what it is, right? All right, take it down. Take it down. Hurry up, take it down. Go ahead.
And conspired.
What verse were you at?
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Go ahead.
And conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it.
Now, jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst of them.
So now, here's what our adversaries wholeheartedly believe. They will infiltrate us. They will come into the midst of us. They'll try to win us over with money and positions and things of that nature. And guess what their ultimate goal is? Read it again from the top.
And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause the work to cease.
So are they going to overtly come and say, hey, we're doing this to you guys? Are they going to overtly say that? No, they're not. Sisters, are they going to say that outright? No, they're not. They're not. It's going to be secretive. Secretive. Always remember that. Play that video on the right side.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
Read that. Pause it and read it.
Judith Varney Shorer is the Israeli consul general in Atlanta.
So she's right here in good old Atlanta. I believe this video was from 2018. They had a secret meeting, a secret council, and they were talking about what are their biggest threats. The biggest threat to the Israeli state, it said, are young black Americans. Guess what's happening? So-called young black Americans, young black, old, mid-aged Americans, so to speak, are waking up. They understand that the tents of Judah, let's go to Zechariah and get it. Let's get it. Because I don't want to jump ahead. I'm sorry. Shout out to Judah. All praises. Let's see who the Lord is raising up first.
Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7.
Come on.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
What?
Shall save the tents of Judah first.
So they said this is what these nations do. These nations have these think tanks, and they sit down and they do study the scriptures. They do study history. And what they do is they put pieces of the puzzle together as well. And they understand that the tents of Judah is going to be rising up first. And what they understand, you show you this, they know where the tents of Judah are. Y'all understand that, right? But here's what they say, oh, black Americans. No. Read that again.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
So we don't magnify themselves against Judah because the Lord is dealing with the tribe of Judah first. So what happened is, what she's having in these secret meetings in code word, The enemy is saying, these so-called black Americans, that's the tents of Judah that's waking up. They're the biggest problem. They're the biggest problem. It ain't Hamas. It ain't Hezbollah. Hezbollah. Is it Hezbollah or Hezbollah? I don't give a damn. It's a bowl of Cheerios for all I damn care. Or Iran. It ain't North Korea with Kim Jong-un. That's not the biggest threat. You telling me out of all of the things that they have done over all of these centuries, their biggest threat is the so-called black Americans? Read that verse again, man.
Verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
That's what God says. God says he's saving, raising up the tents of Judah first. And they understand that. So what they do is they manipulate the media. Now, this happened to be secretly recorded. This is not something that was broadcast like on a TV channel that we all can see. It was secretly recorded and released on social media. So in their secret meetings, they're talking about y'all. But in the media, they talking about the little tat they got between them and Gaza. You see how this goes? They talking about Gaza in the open media, but behind closed doors, they don't give a damn about Hezbollah. They don't give a damn about Hamas. They don't care about that. That's not their issue. Their issue is you Jews waking up. Because it's long gone, or no more, they're going to replace us. Nah, that's not going to happen. Play the video.
I had last week a dinner, sit-down dinner at my house with 30 people, which are considered the leadership of the black community. And very important people. They can be part of our doing an activity.
Dr. Clarence B. Jones, who wrote the draft speech for Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream. He was his lawyer, he was his close friend. He's somebody that I reached out to. He became a very close and personal friend.
Andy David was the Israeli consul general in San Francisco.
Because of that relationship, he published 3 articles at the Huffington Post explaining why their agenda was hijacked. Martin Luther King will turn in his grave if he saw the anti-Israel tendencies or policies that are starting to emerge within Black Lives Matter.
Soon after Black Lives Matter declared support for BDS, a fundraiser at a New York nightclub was suddenly cancelled.
All right, you can stop that. You can stop that. So what do we want to show you? Go give me that in 1 Ezra 5, 73, 76. Secret plots. Is that 1 Ezra?
Yes, sir, 73.
Huh?
5 and 73.
5 and, okay, read that.
1 Ezra chapter 5, verse 73. And by their secret plots.
Start at 72.
Verse 72. But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea.
So the heathen of the land are always collectively pressing or weighing us down in some way or another. So guess what? You have Moab and Ammon who control like the false hairline. And what are they doing? They're using their media power to push self-hatred, right? Esau owns the skin bleaching line. So what are they doing? Pushing self-hatred. They own the abortion clinics, pushing self-hatred. They own the music industry, pushing debauchery. So in our minds, subconsciously, what's playing in the back of our minds? F a B, do this and steal a nigga wife and yada. What are we doing? And we the only people dancing to that. You don't see Moab making music like that. Moab tried to make drill music. They banned it in the country, in China. You cannot be a drill artist. They're not trying to hear that debauchery. But we have it programmed in our minds. We have it programmed in our spirit. To the point now where when someone says something against Amalek, we immediately jump on board calling them anti-Semitic. Well, 6 million. Well, yeah, brother, 6 million. Brother, hey, sister, 6 million. What about 200 million? What about that? Nobody's talking about that. Our mouths are stopped. We read it earlier in 3 Holy Children. They stopped our mouths. We can't even say nothing about that because the 6 million is more important. It's not even mathematically possible for 6 million to be greater than 200 million. But in the world of Amalek, it's possible. Okay, let's see. Where you at again?
Verse 72.
Verse 72, read it again.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, and holding them straight, hindered their building, and by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing. It says
by their secret plots. It's not something that's done overtly. It's not outwardly done. It's a secret, like we just saw. It's a secret plot. Go ahead.
And popular persuasions and commotions. They hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived. So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years.
So they were hindered from progression and building for 2 entire years. They were trying to stop it forever, but they were only able to withstand and hold it out for 2 years. Go to First Maccabees. Yeah, First Maccabees chapter 2. Because it says the heathen pressed against us sore. It was the heathen, right? First Maccabees 2, read verse 7 to verse 10.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 7. He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the land of the enemy.
It says it was given to what?
And to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy.
It was given into the hand or delivered into the hand of the enemy. Go ahead.
And the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
So because the nations took part in our punishing, right? It says that our temple was without glory because they raided our temples. Go ahead.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation have not had a part?
That's the part I want. That's the part I want. It says, what nation? Go ahead.
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Now here's what I want you to see. It says, what nation, like name a nation that has not had a part in the destruction of the children of Israel. Name one. That's what God is telling you. When we just read in Esdras that the heathen pressed sore against us, it was all the nations. Like in Psalms chapter 83. All of them were pressed against us. All of them knew that their plot for our demise was at hand. It says, okay, this is the time that we looked for. And like it says in Lamentations, we've been waiting. Give me that in Lamentations. I think it's chapter 1. Lamentations chapter 1. It says, this is the time we looked for. See the chapter 1 or chapter 4. You got it?
No, sir.
Chapter 1 and Somebody call it out? 2 and 16. Thank you.
Lamentations chapter 2, verse 16. All thy enemies
That's it.
All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it.
It says, so certainly this is the day we have looked for. Because throughout history, like when you read in 1 Ezra chapter 4, when the Babylonians had conquered us, Edomites took over our villages. They've always wanted our land. The same thing in Judges chapter 3. They've always wanted our land. So read that again.
All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say.
No, jump up a little bit. Go to start at verse 14.
Verse 14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for.
It says, certainly this is the day that we looked for. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. So real quick, I'm going to send you another video, okay? Real quick. Jump to chapter 1, verse 21.
Lamentation, chapter 1, verse 21. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it.
Wait. What does it say?
They are glad that thou hast done it.
It says they are glad when thou hast done it. Go ahead.
Thou would bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all
so now the enemies are always glad to see us fall. Always glad to see us stumble. Always glad to see us in transgression. Guess what? When they put on a concert and Sexy Red is the headliner, Amalek is rejoicing over that. Do y'all understand that? When they see that arena packed, listening to the debauchery, how your thing pink and your booty hole brown, and they doing this. Amalek is like, yes, we've done it. If you remember, Leo Cohen was on The Breakfast Club. Leo Cohen was on The Breakfast Club, and they said, listen, if you know, don't put that on the screen. Don't see that. The hell? Yeah, whatever. Leo Cohen, Charlemagne asked Leo Cohen, he said, listen, if you know that the music that your company promotes is degrading to black people and possibly the demise of black people, don't you feel some kind of way? He was like, no, I got to make $1. He's like, nope, does nothing for me. And at the end, he kind of caught himself like, okay, I think I said too much. He revealed too much. Amalek does not care. They are glad when we destroy ourselves. Ishmael is glad when we destroy ourselves. Ishmael said, you won't know that we're destroying you until we're in the midst of you. They're glad. Then they do things to give the impression as though they care. They don't give a damn. They don't care. Real quick. Real quick. Go to Black Morocco before you do that. Black Morocco, the book. I think it's page 262. Because I made a statement earlier, but I didn't show the historical part of it. Black Morocco, History of Slavery, Race, and Islam, right? Go into the page. What page is that?
232.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir. He also restored the commercial position of the Jewish community by prevented it from adopting European dress, preferring that the Jews conform to the status that the Muslims were accustomed to in order to avoid any xenophobic sentiments among Moroccan Muslims.
So what did they do? They told Amalek, you have to be just like us. Everybody understand that? So a lot of times, you can take it off screen. A lot of times when we read about Ishmael, it goes right back to what I mentioned early in the class. They joined together in order to destroy who? Us, the children of Israel. That's their ultimate plot. But here's what God says. Zechariah 2:8 real quick. Zechariah 2:8.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8.
Come on.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Wait a minute. What is God saying? God says, these nations that plot against us, these nations that have enslaved us, have done all manners of evil to us. Doing it to us is just like doing it to God. So therefore, you think God going to take that mess? God ain't going to take that mess.
That's right.
So real quick, because I know for time's sake, I still have a little bit more, but for time's sake, you know what? Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2. Zephaniah chapter 2. You can start at verse 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree.
So this is what the Lord is commanding us. So we have the Lord's Sabbath day. We have various schools throughout the world, not only the country anymore, throughout the world. It is imperative for the 12 tribes of Israel to gather together. It's imperative, because what other option do you have? All the nations that we just went through some history, of course, went through scriptures, videos, things of that nature, showing that all the nations are against us. Everybody. So what option do we have opposed to gathering together? Gathering together, not for football Sunday, for wicked-ass Thanksgiving coming up. God ain't talking about that. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, sidebar. Give me that, and is it Hosea 7? Hosea. Corn and wine. Bear with me, y'all. 4:11. Thank you.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 11.
Come on.
Whoredom and wine, and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declare it unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms.
No, that's not it. 7:14. Thank you.
Hosea chapter 7, verse 14. And they have not cried unto me with their heart. When they howled upon their beds, they assembled themselves for corn and wine, and they rebel against me.
And they rebel against God. So for all of you that are watching, some of you might be gathering this Thursday for Thanksgiving. So this is a sidebar. Don't, because it's a rebellion against the Lord our God. So so-called blacks and Hispanics, we gather for everything. We gather for, like I said, football Sunday. We gather for Mother's Day, for Christmas, for all of these things. And Thursday is going to be one of them. It's not biblical. God says you assemble yourselves for corn and wine, meaning food and drink. But ultimately, it's to rebel against God. Thanksgiving is not biblical, okay? In the sense of sitting down. You're celebrating what Christopher Columbus brought to this land. We actually went through the history. On his first day, he took 1,100 Taino Indians, put them on ships, and shipped them to Spain. On day one, after establishing they are a peaceable people. After establishing they're the greatest nation he's ever encountered. He said, you know what? But you must be enslaved. This is why the Lord has to war against Amalek generation after generation. Because Amalek is always up to his same old tricks. So Amalek destroyed, because remember, Amalek was the first settlers and the conquistadors. Everybody remember that, right? So in all interactions dealing with the natives, it was Amalek killing the northern kingdom. Everybody understand that? Amalek was killing the northern kingdom. So whether it be in the 1400s or in the early 15 or the late 1500s, whichever one it be, it was Amalek killing the 12 tribes of Israel. And now what they say is, you Negroes gather together, not you in here, of course, not you, outside the doors. Y'all gather together and celebrate Big Mama cooking this big Thanksgiving dinner. God says you're rebelling against him. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go back. Where were we? I forgot.
We just read Hosea 7 and 14.
No, before that. Zephaniah, thank you. My memory fails me sometimes. Bear with me, y'all. Zephaniah 2, read verse 1 again.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Come on.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So gather together, O nation not desired. Again, it's not for Thanksgiving, it's not for Christmas, not for any of these wicked holidays, but gather, why?
Before the decree bring forth.
Because you know that judgment is coming from the Lord upon this earth. But yeah, put that thing on the screen. That's what gathering together is. We gather together for Passover. We gather together for Feast of Tabernacles. We gather together for the Lord's holy Sabbath day. That's a beautiful sight right there.
That's right.
That's what the gathering is. Gather with like-minded brothers and sisters that desire to keep the commandments of God with faith in his son, the black Messiah, Jesus the Christ. Understand that. That's what the Lord says. Gather together because destruction is coming. No for certainty is coming. Go ahead.
Before the decree bring forth.
Come on.
Before the day pass as the chaff. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Come on.
Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth.
Come on.
Which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
So it's best for you to gather together to seek meekness and seek righteousness, humbling down to the word of God, humbling down and keeping his commandments. It says it's best for you to do that. That's your best option. What other option do you have? Somebody about to get trampled on Friday morning for Black Friday. You know that, right? Somebody is knocking somebody's old grandmother over to get that monitor, or that computer monitor, or that computer, or that TV. Somebody on Friday night, somebody's getting shot in the club. I guarantee it. Somebody getting kidnapped. Some young sisters getting taken into sex trafficking. It's without fail. All of these things that we choose to esteem above the Lord, guess what? God says he's gonna make you feel it by pain. That's what he's gonna make you feel. He's gonna make you know it in the life to come and in this life. You're gonna feel it. Well, Captain already got a song. We got to make it a hit. Hard head, make a soft ass. You don't listen, you're gonna feel it. That's the only way. That's the only way. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday.
So it says, hold on, let me get to it. Read that again.
Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation.
So here's the judgment of the Lord. So while they pull at our so-called heartstrings to have us pick a side between Gaza, pick a side between Israel, Ukraine, or whatever, we're hearing God's judgment. That's what we're hearing. And we got to love the judgment of the Lord. Because all the evil that we went through earlier in the history and in these videos, evil that they've done, now you see the reward of the heathen upon their heads, and they want to play songs of them holding a bunch of damn kittens.
Boy, ain't no way.
I don't give a damn about a cat now. I'm gonna care about a cat when the damn city look like this. Put it on the screen. You telling me our neighborhood or our city look like this, and I'm gonna give two damns about a cat? I'm sorry, some of y'all might be cat lovers in here, but I won't give a damn about your cat. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Okay? Go back in the burning building and save Fluffy. Who the hell is Fluffy? That better be your 7-year-old child. No, it's my cat. Bye, Felicia. Bye. No. Bye. I am not going in for your cat. I'm sorry. So my point is, the judgment of the Lord is written, and there's nothing any of us can do about it, no matter if you feel one way or the other. God's judgment shall stand. So read it again.
Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday.
So Ashkelon and Ashdod are in where? Thank you. We got one brother that knew that was in Israel. Thank you, brother, for paying attention. Bishop bringing it out. We got one brother. All praises. So Israel and Gaza going to get it. Go ahead.
And Ekron shall be rooted up.
Which is what? Modern day what? No. Tel Mikni. Very good. Ekron is modern day Tel Mikni. Ashdod is Tel Aviv. Go ahead.
Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan.
So the word of the Lord is against. You got to look at this. So Psalms 83 had a list of the enemies of God that have become enemies of his people. We're reading Zephaniah chapter 2. And he's now listing those same nations that they're going to gain judgment from him. Give the Lord a round of applause. Let's keep reading.
Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites.
Come on.
The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan.
Come on.
The land of the Philistines.
Come on.
I will even destroy thee.
Wait a minute. What does God say?
I will even destroy thee.
Put that on the screen. This is what God says. This is why we can't be on no one side. We have to be on God's side. This is why we have to give attendance to reading. We got to study. Why? Because we have to be able to recognize the times that we're in. I know a lot of us walk around in la la land. I understand that. But you have to be able to measure the time. Oh, okay, the Lord said this, the Lord said that. Okay, that's what we're seeing right now. All praises, prophecy coming to pass. So while you're rejoicing, the nations are cringing. And they hate the fact that you have a level of, I use it this way. You have a level of peace within you. So the world is coming to an end. You don't have a sense of not understanding the time that you're in. It's not that you're oblivious to what's going on, but they're like, hey, you ain't riled up. They shipping soldiers, and my son just got shipped over to the Middle East, and he's gonna be over there. Like, shoot, that's crazy. Word, that's crazy. And they're like, what the hell's wrong with you? Our soldiers gonna be dying. That's crazy. That's like my favorite saying, like, yo, that's crazy. But my point is, there's a resolve in you when you know. You all know something that they don't. You understand? That's why it's imperative. The Lord wants us to go to the highways and hedges to teach our people those things that they don't know. They don't know the laws of God. They don't know simple things like marriage. They don't understand that. They understand all these 30,000 laws of the land, but they don't understand God's laws. We have to help bring them back to that. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. Internationally, Bishop put out the call some months ago. How many of y'all brothers got y'all passports? I see more hands than when the last time we asked. Y'all brothers got to get on it. There's a lot of work to be done. What we're reading has to be told on the housetops. We got to bring this out at camp. Let our people understand what's going on in the Middle East is Bible prophecy coming to pass. Go ahead.
I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant.
So God says he's going to destroy them, that there be no inhabitants. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds, and folds for flocks.
Come on.
And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So hold on. Hold this. I quoted it, but let's read it real quick. I got 5 minutes. Go to 1 Esdras 4. I'm going the wrong daggone way. 1 Esdras 4 and verse 49.
1 Ezra chapter 4, verse 49. Moreover, he wrote for all the Jews that went out of his realm up into Jewry concerning their freedom, that no officer, no ruler, no lieutenant, nor treasurer should forcibly enter into their doors.
So here's a decree that Darius was putting forth, right? No one could forcibly enter into our doors. Go ahead.
And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute. And that the Edomites,
Who?
The Edomites,
Who?
The Edomites
Go ahead.
should give over the villages of the Jews, which then they held.
So they held our lands. Everybody understand that, right? So go back to Zephaniah chapter 2. So look, the Lord is repaying them exactly what they did to us. They took our lands into their possession. They put us into captivity, things of that nature, right? Read that verse again, verse 7.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 7. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon.
So it says, and the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. Like Bishop Yahusai. Judah. So the lands that they took into their possession, we're going to get those back. Go ahead.
In the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening, for the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity.
Come on.
I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border.
And magnify themselves against the border. Go ahead.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom.
What?
Shall be as Sodom.
Read it again.
Shall be as Sodom.
Moab gonna get it too. Go ahead.
And the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them.
Read that part again.
The residue of my people shall spoil them.
So as we were once slaves, we shall be slave owners. Go ahead.
And the remnant of my people shall possess them.
Thus saith the Lord our God. All praises. Woo. All praises. Let's see if you do videos with kittens in that damn day. Let's see. Let's see. But all praise to the Most High God. I pray the class was edifying. Stay tuned. Bishop Nathaniel is up next with that fire. And guess what? Amalek, Ishmael, you ain't hidden no more. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.